50 Cent is reportedly working on a documentary aimed at exposing Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Pusha T were recently named in the Epstein files, and many believe this situation could be even more serious than what Diddy is currently facing. Jay-Z has long-standing connections to some of the most dangerous figures in the industry, and the latest documents released by the Department of Justice are bringing those links back into focus. Emails, flight logs, and archived footage are continuing to resurface, and sources say Jay-Z is growing increasingly concerned as attention around the case intensifies.
This is not a drill. Pusha T and Jay-Z have both been revealed to be in the Epstein files. A few moments ago, we have just received shocking news within the music world that two major artists in the rap game were revealed to be in the Epstein files, like Pusha T and Jay-Z. Now, specifically in the Epstein file, Pusha T is accused of doing something to a woman that is very disturbing, with it saying in approximately 2007, a woman attended a party following an invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her and ended up doing other things. And as for Jay-Z, the details are a lot more disturbing, within the files claiming that Jay-Z was doing something to a woman while she was sleeping, with it saying from her home she then later woke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter Jay-Z, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into you-know-what.
Less than a week ago, the Department of Justice released more than 3 million pages of documents, along with roughly 2,000 videos and nearly 180,000 images connected to multiple investigations involving Epstein. Many of these materials were heavily redacted. Still, even with names crossed out and identities concealed, one name continues to surface repeatedly: Jay-Z. One FBI crisis intake report included in the latest Epstein release references an anonymous victim who alleged she was drugged and sexually abused on multiple occasions over the years, claiming that Pusha T acted as one of her handlers. In that same report, the woman stated that after waking up in a room, she allegedly saw Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z present. The leaked document states that the woman later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z, while Weinstein was allegedly engaging in redacted acts, according to unverified claims. Now, appearing in Epstein-related files or an FBI crisis report does not automatically mean guilt. But it certainly raises serious questions for Jay-Z, especially given his close association with Sean Diddy Combs, whose recent legal troubles have now escalated into lawsuits. At this point, many are asking the same question. Is it really a coincidence that whenever major figures are exposed, Jay-Z's name seems to be right there in the background?
Now, this is a tip back in 2009 that was sent to the FBI that references Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, and Pusha T. It says, on July 10th of 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time, someone called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. This person said in approximately 1994, she revealed herself as a past victim of abuse by Epstein. She described the abuse that occurred during parties, and she also described someone as a friend of someone. In approximately 1996, she revealed that she resided with someone somewhere. An unknown man abducted someone from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known as Jay-Z. This person claimed that Harvey Weinstein inserted his fingers into... She believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. This person estimated that she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an indoor setting. She said that she suffered abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She claims that she recalled Leon Black and William Barr, the current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of the abuse.
First of all, I'm honestly not surprised anymore, because after everything we've seen with Diddy, nothing feels off limits. Here's the reality. Some of the biggest names in the industry have been questioning Jay-Z for years. Kanye West and Nicki Minaj have both recently spoken out about him. And to be real, what they've been saying lines up almost perfectly with what's now showing up in these files.
If you take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living killing our people. So how the fuck they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, oh, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, they didn't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars. Man. Liars are now the face of our culture.
Now, to be clear, Ye is speaking from his own point of view, and the context of when that clip was recorded is still uncertain. He's not offering court evidence. He's making an allegation, but the reason people are going back to this video now isn't because it proves anything. It's because it no longer feels as random as it once did. Back then, the industry and fans brushed it aside. Today, after Diddy, after Epstein, after seeing how long powerful figures can move without being questioned, the response has shifted. People are asking, what were they really saying? And why were these warnings ignored for so long? And that's the uncomfortable part. Even if none of this turns into charges, the pattern feels familiar. Allegations get dismissed. Critics get called crazy. And years later, the conversation quietly changes. Another major celebrity now speaking on Jay-Z is Nicki Minaj, and she's recently been sharing specific details about what allegedly happens behind the scenes. On the night of the Grammys, Nicki went on another extended rant online. This time, she pulled Beyoncé and Jay-Z into it just as their names were already trending due to the Epstein file release. She wasn't just throwing shade either. Nicki outright accused the Carters of trafficking and sacrificing children to maintain power. Then Nicki shifted her tone and said she's been silent for years, while Beyoncé and Jay-Z have allegedly bullied her behind the scenes. According to her, she's been holding back information, but now she's considering doing story times and exposing what she knows.
What Nicki Minaj had to say. She wrote, "Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up." And yeah, she's not the first person in Hollywood to say that. I just don't know how much could be in our face anymore before we wake up and realize these people are ruling over us and they win when we're fighting with each other. That's just the reality. I really don't see how you can have a ton of success in Hollywood and not be in the club, because Hollywood was founded upon this. I just don't really care what you call me. It's time for everyone to wake up.
Nicki said, "Powerful people have been doing dark things behind closed doors to keep control. And honestly, after everything that's been exposed in the industry lately, that idea doesn't feel far-fetched. If someone like Diddy could silence his way to the top, it makes people wonder what a billionaire like Jay-Z might be capable of." Nicki also made it clear that she stayed quiet for years, not because she had nothing to say, but because she was actively choosing not to say it. According to her, the Carters have continued to pressure her behind the scenes, shut her out of certain spaces, and quietly block opportunities tied to her career. That's why she hinted at doing story times, not for clout, but because she's exhausted from being the one who stays silent while others control the narrative. And let's be honest, Nicki has been calling out industry politics for more than a decade. She's spoken about sabotage, blacklisting, and award manipulation long before it became acceptable to say those things out loud.
And what's really happened is that people like Nicki Minaj and also Kanye West, they seem like they were a little bit cuckoo. And I ain't gonna lie, people call them flat out crazy. They're now starting to look like they were trying to warn us of some things. So Nicki Minaj unleashes this verbal onslaught on Jay-Z. She says, "Are you understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and you will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times. Since I wasn't trying to say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying. Also, I won't be releasing an album until my contract is renegotiated and until I tell you about all the sabotage this Rico is finding out about Billboard." Now that's also really telling. She says she will not be releasing an album until her contract is renegotiated. From what I know, she is signed to Universal.
Nicki was one of the first people in the industry to actually describe what happens behind the scenes. And according to her, that honesty came with consequences. She said for years that Jay-Z used his power to blackball her because she refused to fall in line. After that, her career took hits. Support from the industry faded, opportunities slowed down, contracts fell apart, and suddenly, the story being pushed was that she was the problem. Deals went silent, relationships changed. She was labeled difficult while the same people operating behind closed doors continued winning awards and controlling platforms. Now, with these files being released, people are looking back at what Nicki said in a completely different way. Not because the documents directly prove her claims, but because they expose how closely power, access, and protection are tied together in the industry. When the same names keep appearing in the same circles, it forces people to ask whether Nicki was ever crazy at all, or just early. For years, she was mocked, dismissed, and gaslit. Now, some of the accusations that once sounded outrageous are being echoed in federal investigations. That's why her rants land differently today. This isn't random outrage. It's frustration built over years of being silenced, pushed aside, and punished for saying too much in an industry that survives on silence. And the same pattern shows up with 50 Cent. After helping dismantle Diddy's image with his explosive Netflix documentary, 50 has now said he's coming for Jay-Z next, specifically over his alleged ties to the Epstein files. And when 50 decides to move, history says it's not noise. His Diddy project became one of the biggest cultural moments of the year, dominating headlines, breaking streaming records, and turning an untouchable mogul into a liability almost overnight. That level of damage doesn't happen by accident. So Jay-Z knows exactly what this moment means. This isn't something you ignore. This is lawyer-up territory, damage control, statements being drafted, cease and desist letters ready. Because once 50 starts moving publicly, the warning phase is already over. And that's what makes this situation different. This isn't just internet talk anymore. You've got Nicki saying she was silenced for years. And now you've got 50, someone with resources, influence, and a proven track record, saying he's ready to bring receipts.
Trafficking or Epstein's crime. Now let's be real. You know 50 Cent was somewhere stretching his fingers like, another post. 50 probably woke up, saw the headlines and said, God is good. 50 Cent jumped on Instagram and posted the article on his page and wrote the caption, I know I'm late on this, but this is kinda crazy. What do you do to get thrown into that mix? And he posted a picture of Jay-Z and wrote the caption, damn, they got my man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this. Bro, don't tell me you about to do a Jay-Z documentary that's gonna be even more spicier than the Diddy one you dropped. Now, we all know that 50 lives for moments like this. This is like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and tax season combined in one. 50 don't even need facts. He needs content. He the type to post, I don't know if it's true, but with 20 laughing emojis.
If 50 really decides to go all the way, Jay-Z could be in serious trouble. And let's be real, a fall like that would rock the entire industry. This isn't just about trophies or streaming numbers. It's about influence, control, and power systems that have gone untouched for decades, suddenly cracking. Picture being crowned the king of hip-hop for years, hailed as the first rap billionaire, shaping charts, business moves, and culture itself, and then suddenly it all starts coming apart. One documentary, a few voices refusing to stay quiet, like Nicki Minaj's, and the whole image begins to unravel. That's the kind of impact 50 Cent carries, and that's exactly why everyone is paying attention right now.
Y'all thought the downfall of Diddy was something. The downfall of Jay-Z is going to be something. Jay-Z is working overtime right now to make sure his empire won't crumble apart. Because we're not going to act like he wasn't named in the Epstein.
Hey, I'm just going to say this. Just listen me out. Ever since Jaguar Wright, if that's her name correctly, right, has been talking about Jay-Z and how Jay-Z has been doing all these crazy shenanigan situations, and Jay-Z never put a cease and desist on her at all. Like, nobody has told her to shut the hell up because she knows what she knows, right? She's a little quiet right now for my liking. I don't like that she's a little quiet. Right now, you're supposed to be on every single TV broadcast, every podcast, everywhere, okay? Because you've been allegedly proven to be right. Because he's Epstein's list, Jeffrey Epstein's list has dropped, and now we got Diddy out the way. Jay-Z is on the crosshair, and Pusha T is right behind him. They're both gonna get a 2-for-1 combo set up. Okay. I always knew Jay-Z was weird. Anytime, if you watch the interviews about how Jay-Z talked about Aaliyah, creepy. You know what I'm saying? That the girl wasn't even 18 yet. She was still 16, whatever her young prepubescent age was, right? And Don Dash was already trying to be like, oh, that's my girl already. You know what I'm saying? Like when she becomes single or whatever type of situation. So y'all playing in the same sandbox to me. All y'all playing in the same sandbox. It's just who's gonna topple over first. Diddy's down, out for the count. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z's next spot. Because Jay-Z has tried to make himself seem like this is more elevated thought process with the growing out the hair and all of a sudden finding these interests about buying art, which all of that is money laundering, to be honest with you. That's just how you hide your money, so that when you have a real bad time, you can sell it or pull the money out of the insurance policy so that you can cover whatever expenses you got without having to pay income taxes. I know your work. But I always knew that it was nonsense with Jay-Z, right? Pusha is going to be the one I really want to know about. Push is gonna be the really one, because I want to know how bad the situation be. Because everybody's been named in these lists, we've all seen them talk and walk with this superior mindset of saying, I would never do anything like this. I'm a man of valor. I'm a man of morals. Blah 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 blah. And then look at you now. Now look at you now. Put on blast by the U.S. government. I'm just saying. If we had 3.2 million pages worth, it's gonna take months before we see everything.
This didn't just appear out of thin air either. Long before the Epstein files dropped, the rumors were already circulating. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, had been speaking on Jay-Z's questionable behavior well before any documents were released. What's crazy is that 2 years ago, when Diddy's mansion was first raided, Gene Deal openly predicted this exact moment. He said that if someone as powerful and protected as Diddy could be reached, then Jay-Z wouldn't be too far behind. Back then, people brushed it off. They claimed Gene was chasing attention, holding grudges, or blowing things out of proportion. But now, that prediction doesn't sound so far-fetched. The most striking part is that Gene Deal says his claims aren't speculation. He says he personally saw Jay-Z acting far too close to minors. And on top of that, people still bring up the fact that Jay-Z began dating Beyonce when she was only 16.
Was there when he first started dating Beyonce at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. When I look back and see how old Jay-Z was, I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67. Something like that, 67 right there? 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyonce, they said she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene's, and Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-some years old, and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6, 7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know. You know what I'm saying? But to get back to your letter, I believe that the lawyer was doing what he did, and he threw shade at Puff in the interim of that by saying that all celebrities, you may think all celebrities are alike, you know what I'm saying? He know he's under this situation with Puff. But you gotta look at this right here. They sent him a letter, Busby sent him a letter for 2 reasons, I believe. To open up the floodgate, just like that 1-800 bad boy number did, and people start calling in saying what Puff did to them. Because he already had that information from that person when they first did the suit against Puff.
So what do you think? Are these just old rumors coming back around? Or is Nicki finally being proven right now that 50 Cent is stepping in and the files are being released? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know who you're riding with. Team Nicki? Team 50? Or do you think Jay-Z is still untouchable? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter of this story.